You know that feeling when you check your bank account and don't immediately want to throw your phone across the room? Well, there's a specific number that gets you there. It's the point where your whole relationship with money just transforms. And listen, it's not the $1 million figure everyone talks about. Nope, it's actually way, way smaller.
So what is that number really? What's the actual magic number for financial freedom? I mean, what's the milestone that really separates the people who build wealth from those who just feel stuck, you know? So many financial gurus, they're all focused on the finish line, but honestly, they're missing the most critical part of the whole race.
Okay, so the myth, the one we've all heard, is that you need a cool $1 million to feel wealthy. But the reality? It's more like $20,000 to completely change the entire game. See, it's not about the destination, it's about the turning point. That one spot where everything suddenly gets easier.
I want you to think about it like this. Building wealth is kind of like pushing a giant boulder up a really steep hill. That first part, it's just a brutal, slow, exhausting battle. But hitting that $20,000 mark, that's the moment you finally reach the top of the hill. And all of a sudden, the momentum shifts and gravity starts working for you instead of against you.
So, over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly why this number is so powerful. We'll dive into how it changes your brain, how the math starts working in your favor, all the new doors it opens up, and finally, the huge mindset shift that comes with it.
All right, first up, let's talk about your brain on money. Because the biggest, most immediate change isn't actually in your bank account. It's what happens inside your head. Having a real financial cushion, it literally rewires how your brain operates.
Think about it. When you have little to no savings, your brain is basically stuck in what psychologists call survival mode. Every single decision gets filtered through a lens of fear and scarcity. All your mental energy is just gone. It's consumed by putting out fires. But once you cross that $20,000 threshold, your brain can finally flip the switch into growth mode. You're not just trying to survive anymore. You can actually start thinking strategically, long-term.
And hey, this isn't just some fluffy feeling. There's real data to back this up. Research from Vanguard found that just having $2,000 in savings boosts your sense of financial well-being by a massive 21%. Now push that up to 3 to 6 months of expenses, which for a lot of us is right around that $20,000 mark, and you get another huge boost. It's all about creating that breathing room your brain desperately needs to stop reacting and finally start planning.
Okay, let's move on to the second point, because this is where things get really exciting. Once you hit that magic number, the actual math of building wealth starts to speed up, like a lot.
Just look at how this builds. Let's say you're saving $1,000 a month. Getting to your first 20K takes about 19 months. It feels like a grind, right? But getting your second 20K, that only takes 17 months for the exact same effort. Why? Because your first pile of money is now working for you. Now fast forward a bit. At a $400,000 portfolio, that next $20,000, it comes in just 5 months. I mean, that acceleration is absolutely incredible.
And this is where your whole perception shifts. I mean, before you have that solid base, your investment returns can feel, well, kind of meaningless, right? A 10% return on $2,000 is just $200. It's nice, I guess, but it's not life-changing. And it's really hard to stay motivated when the reward feels so small. But a return on $20,000? Oh, that's a whole different story. An 8% return on that gives you $1,600 a year. Now that is real money. That's money that just showed up without you having to lift a finger for it. For the very first time, you can feel your money doing a real, meaningful share of the work.
Okay, so your brain is calmer, the math is finally on your side. So what? What does this actually mean for your day-to-day life? Well, it means you start seeing options where before all you saw were threats.
This lays out the difference perfectly. Without that buffer, a sudden car repair isn't just an expense. It's a total disaster that can send you spiraling into debt. A rent hike is a full-blown emergency. But with that cushion, those exact same events become inconveniences. Annoying, for sure, but they're just bumps in the road, not a catastrophe that's going to derail your entire life. And this gives you something so powerful. It's called walking away money. And what that means is you finally have the freedom to negotiate your life and your career from a position of strength, not desperation. You're not trapped in a job you hate anymore just to pay the bills. The entire power dynamic, it just flips completely in your favor. And all of a sudden, these new doors just start opening up. Opportunities that were basically invisible before come into focus. You can actually consider investing in a friend's startup. You could start looking at a down payment on a small rental property. You can pay for that career-changing conference without blinking. You can walk into your boss's office and ask for that raise, knowing that no matter what they say, you are going to be just fine.
And that brings us to our final and I think most important point. Look, the money is great, but the real reward, it's the permanent change in how you think about your finances and, honestly, your entire life.
Before you hit this milestone, you waste so much mental energy sweating the small stuff, right? Agonizing over a $3 coffee or whether you should buy the name brand cereal. But afterwards, you realize those tiny decisions are almost completely irrelevant. Your focus shifts to the big stuff, the things that actually move the needle, like, is my housing cost too high? How can I increase my income? Is my investment strategy the right one?
You start asking yourself a much more powerful question. Instead of asking, can I afford the monthly payment? You start asking, what is this purchase really costing me in the long run? That $30,000 car isn't just $30,000. It's the $200,000 it could have turned into over 20 years if you'd invested it instead. You start seeing the hidden opportunity cost in, well, everything.
Now hold on, this isn't about becoming some penny pincher who never has any fun. Not at all, far from it. The real goal here is to become intentional. It's about consciously deciding where your money goes, directing it toward the things you truly, deeply value, instead of just letting it disappear on stuff that doesn't really matter to you. Because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Reaching that first crucial milestone, that $20,000. It's not really about the money itself. It's about taking back control. It is the fundamental difference between just reacting to whatever life throws your way and finally getting to design the life you actually want to live.